Yes, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome to the Saturday Swahili classes for the weekend. I do hope that you're doing wonderful, and thank you so much for taking time to join us on this particular show. We want to thank you so much for being part and parcel of the Blackout Fire Network Saturday Swahili classes for the weekend. And of course, over the weekends on Saturdays and Sundays, we connect right here and we get to learn Swahili together. Today is no different. We shall be picking up from where we left. And I remember if you would like to have a copy of our notes, you can simply write to us, blackoutfireafrica@gmail.com. And once you do, I would be able to share with you a copy of those particular notes that we normally get to use for class. Welcome to class. In Swahili, we do say karibu. And if you want to emphasize, you do say karibu sana, meaning you're very much welcome. So we want to invite you to class. We want to thank you so much for taking the time. And we do hope that your weekend is coming up just fantastic. If not, things will actually shape up. So stay positive, stay optimistic. We have been learning about Swahili and how we make simple Swahili dialogues. And one of the ways in which you actually make a nice breakup is simply by getting to ask people, maybe perhaps where they are from after you have introduced yourself. So you get to ask people where they are from, and you can use the phrase and ask, "Je, umetoka wapi?" When you do say "Je, umetoka wapi," "Je, umetoka wapi," that will be, "Where are you from?" Maybe perhaps you wanted to make a simple introduction of yourself, and you really just wanted to say, "Hujambo," which is hello. Jina langu, my name is Spite. My name is Spite. Therefore, when you're trying to make a simple introduction of yourself, you simply say hello and then introduce yourself and say your name. And therefore, you would say, "Hujambo, jina langu ni Spite." And then you would say, "Nimetoka Nairobi." For example, if you're coming from Nairobi, you would say, "Nimetoka Nairobi." And that is understood to be, "I come from Nairobi." Or you might say, "Ninaishi Nairobi." Ishi means to live. I-S-H-I. Ishi means to live. Ishi means to live. Ishi means to live. Means to live. Live. So therefore, if you said, Ninaishi Nairobi, then it's understood to be, "I live in Nairobi." I live in Nairobi. For example, you would say, "Ninaishi Nairobi." Ninaishi Nairobi. After you have introduced yourself, you would introduce yourself and then you would say, "Jina langu," sorry, "Hujambo, jina langu ni Spite, ninaishi Nairobi." And that would be, "Hello," which is hujambo, hujambo, and then say, "My name is jina langu ni, jina langu ni." And then you would continue to say, "Jina langu ni Spite." And that would be, "My name is Spite." And then you would say, "Ninaishi Nairobi." So let me just put it down, hujambo, hujambo. Bien, hello. We have learned that so far. It's a simple way. Then you would say, "Jina langu." Jina langu is a phrase for "my name is." Jina langu, jina langu, jina langu. That equals to my name. Equals to my name. It equals to my name. And then you would introduce yourself. For example, you'd say, "Jina langu ni." Then that would be, "My name is." Jina langu ni. Jina langu ni. And that is, "My name is." My name is. Jina langu ni, it becomes "my name is." It becomes "my name is." It's not difficult. You simply just have to remember it. Jina langu ni, jina langu ni. If you say jina langu ni, it's understood to be, "My name is." Jina langu ni, my name is. And then you say, "Nimetoka Nairobi." If you say nimetoka, nimetoka means I come from. Nimetoka, I come from is I come from, I come from. I come from, you would say, "Nimetoka Nairobi." Nimetoka Nairobi, then that would be, "I come from Nairobi." I come from Nairobi. If at all you're coming from New York, New Jersey, Chicago, Detroit, whatever, you would say, "Nimetoka Chicago," "Nimetoka New York," "Nimetoka," whatever you do say after that, then that is the place you come from. And these are just simple ways in which you say hello to people, how you introduce yourself, and also how you are able to start simple conversations. When you do ask someone, "Je, wewe," or "Wewe je," if you do say "Wewe je," "Wewe je" simply becomes "How about you?" Wewe je. It simply becomes "How about you?" And it's not difficult. You just say "Wewe" means you. Wewe means you. So if someone says "Wewe je," it becomes "How about you?" How about you? How about you? So that is wewe ze. Or you might ask, ze wewe, ze wewe. Because wewe, the second person, the second person singular is you, we do say wewe, wewe. If someone was to ask wewe unaitwaje, then that would be what is your name. Wewe unaitwaje, that simply becomes what is your name. If someone asks wewe umetoka wapi, it becomes you, where are you from? Wewe unatoka wapi, it simply becomes where are you from. It's not difficult. These things, you just have to keep on memorizing them. The more you memorize, the more they become ingrained into your mind, and the more you're able to remember. Someone might say, I'm too old to start learning a new language. Maybe perhaps you're in your 30s or in your 40s, you even maybe perhaps in your 50s, but it's never too late to start learning a new language. What you have to realize is that when you learn a new language, it keeps your brain, very, very active, and it actually helps you to stay even younger because you're making your brain very, very active and you're learning a new language. And I always do say that when it comes to learning a new language, please have people that you're learning it with. It might be with your friends, it might be with your colleagues, it might be with family members, whomever you choose to learn the language with. It is just very important for you to have people along your journey. And I always do say it is never too late to start learning a new language. You can also involve your kids. You might involve your friends, whomever you want to involve. It is always important that you get to involve other people as well. So when you ask about how about you, we will say ze wewe or wewe ze or ze wewe, whichever it may be in any order. You might say wewe ze. Wewe ze simply means how about you. For example, if I did say hujambo, which is hello in Swahili, jina langu ni Spikes, my name is Spikes, and then I asked you wewe je, then that would be how about you. How about you? You would respond and say jina langu ni Wilson. For example, if your name is Wilson, jina langu ni Michelle. For example, if your name was Michelle, whatever your name is, you would say jina langu ni. That is how you introduce yourself, and it's not even difficult. It just becomes a matter of just trying to remember, and you trying to practice. We always do say that practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. If you're trying to learn anything new, the best way to learn anything new is to always keep on trying to keep practicing. And we always do say that practice makes perfect. We have played you a song, and this particular song is by Yemi Alade. The song is actually done by Yemi Alade. Apologies for the noise. I was just saying that if you're trying to learn something new, it is very, very important that you keep on practicing it. And you have played your song. It's by Yemi Alade. It's actually a Swahili version of the original song. And it says Baba Asante, which is Father. Thank you, Father. It says Baba Asante. It simply means thank you, Father. Thank you, Father, for Baba Asante. Asante is a very, very popular, common phrase, common word in Swahili, because Asante means thanks. It means thanks. Asante simply means thanks. So if someone has accorded you a privilege, maybe perhaps they have served you with a glass of water, or they have offered you tea, or they have offered you coffee, or they have offered you a meal or a snack, what you do tell them is you tell them asante. You normally tell them asante. You normally tell them asante as you appreciate them. So you say asante. If you wanted to say I appreciate in Swahili, maybe perhaps you wanted to say I appreciate, you would say ninashukuru. That is a phrase. Ni points to self. So you say ninashukuru. So if at all you're just trying to be thankful, you would say ninashukuru. Shukuru comes from the word shukran. It comes from the word shukran, which is also used. It's also another polite common courtesy word, which is shukran. Shukran also means thanks. It also means thanks. And therefore, when someone says ninashukuru, they mean I am very thankful. They simply mean I am very thankful. So those are some of the examples. When you talk about common courtesy words, we have talked about a few of them in previous classes. We have said the word tafadhali. Tafadhali simply means please. It simply means please. So if someone says tafadhali nipe chakula, it means please give me some food. If someone says tafadhali nipe maji, it simply means please give me some water. So those are some of the words that you can use. Asante, you can say shukran, you can also say tafadhali, you can also say karibu, and when you're bidding people goodbye, you normally would say kwaheri, kwaheri, which is the words. You can say tafadhali once again if you're trying to ask for something politely because it means please, or you can also say, for example, kwaheri. If you're bidding someone a goodbye, you would say kwaheri. So I was saying, in case you want to get a copy of these particular notes that I'm sharing with you here on the screen, you would simply just let me know. You can write to us, black.fireafrica@gmail.com, and it will be more than a delight to share with you. Because for the sake of our classes here, the objectives are really to help you understand, learn, and appreciate the language of Swahili, to also engage you in exploring different ways in which the Swahili language is developing, and also to aid you as a learner to achieve basic communication skills in Swahili, and also to teach you spoken Swahili language to beginners, and also for those who are who are at the intermediate level, to help them also achieve skills that can help them improve on their knowledge of this beautiful language of Swahili. In case you do have a question at any particular point, please feel free to ask. Please feel free to ask because it is my pleasure to help you understand the language better. So you introducing yourself, you saying where you're coming from, and then you would say what you want. What you want. For example, I would come up and say, for example, which is hello. And then after that, I would say, my name is Spikes, jina langu ni Spikes. And then from there, I would proceed with my request. I would say what it is that I need from you. So I was just saying that in case you want to get a copy of these particular notes, you can write to black.fireafrica@gmail.com. Let me share with us the email, black.fireafrica at gmail.com. And I would be more than happy to share with you the notes that we do get to use on our classes. And these are the notes that I'm sharing on the screen so that you can be able to follow through and I just know what you're talking about. So for the sake of our classes here, we do get to do the introduction to Swahili to be able to understand key and popular words in Swahili. For example, if you're talking about the basic items, you're talking about food, water, clothing, shelter, and education. These days, I think even electricity and the internet are part of that. But nonetheless, for food, we do say chakula. For water, we do say maji. For house, we do say nyumba. But if you're talking about a home, we would say nyumbani, nyumbani. For example, if someone says naenda nyumbani, ninaenda nyumbani, it simply means I am going home. Ninaenda nyumbani. Or they would say niko nyumbani, it means I am at home. But when you're talking about things like water, you would say nipe maji, M-A-J-I, that is for water. So that is for basic items. If you're talking about clothing, we do say nguo or mavazi. So that has two names. You can either say ninataka nguo or you might say ninataka mavazi. Ninataka mavazi. For example, if you wanted new clothes, you would say ninataka mavazi mapya. Ninataka mavazi mapya. In the day-to-day context, there are things that come up in the day-to-day context. For example, food. Along the day somewhere, someone will talk about food, and we're talking about things like breakfast. We're talking about lunch. We're talking about dinner. All this, that is food. And then we would say chakula, chakula. For example, if you're talking about sweet food, the description or the adjective there, which is sweet, you would say chakula kitamu, simply to mean sweet food. For example, someone might say, nimekula chakula kitamu sana, which is I have eaten very sweet food. Nimekula, the syllable ni points to I. So if someone says nimekula, it simply means I have eaten, I have eaten. Well, if someone says in the future I will eat, they would say nitakula. The syllable ni points to I. The syllable ta is a future tense marker, and therefore you would say ni ta kula. Kula is a root verb. Kula is a root verb, and then you would say nitakula chakula. So in a day-to-day conversations, food will come up. In a day-to-day conversations, money will come up. In Swahili, we do say money is pesa, P-E-S-A. That is money. For money, we do say pesa. If you're talking about wealth, there's a difference between money and wealth. Wealth, we will call it Mali, M-A-L-I. Just like we have the West African nation whose name is Mali. So you would say Mali, M-A-L-I. That is for wealth. But if you're talking about money, you would say pesa, pesa. In the East African context, we talk about money in shillings and we say shilingi. Shilingi, for example, it's 100 shillings, we would say shilingi mia moja. Shilingi is a currency. Shillings is a currency for Kenya. We use Kenya shillings. If you're talking about the currency for Tanzania, it's Tanzanian shillings. If you're talking about the currency for Uganda, it's still shillings and it becomes Ugandan shillings. But if you cross over into Rwanda, we talk about Rwandese francs. Francs, they do get to use the francs, and that is the way of currency. But all of them, we still do say pesa, P-E-S-A, for money. But yes, other part of this particular classes is learning the greetings and common courtesy. I did say you're introducing yourself, you would say jina langu ni Spikes, which is my name is Spikes. In case you're saying hello to someone, you would simply be able to do so by saying hujambo. Hujambo is to one individual. If you send hello to one individual, you would say hujambo. But if you send hello to a group of people, you would say hamjambo. Hamjambo. Hamjambo is a greetings, and these are greetings to a group of people. But if it's to one individual, you simply just say hujambo, hujambo. And if you wanted to be very, very polite, you would say nafuraha kuwaona, which is I am happy or I am pleased to see you. To the group of people, I am happy to see you. Or if it's some visitors, you would say karibu wageni wetu, which is welcome to our visitors. And that is just the way you welcome people into your space. For example, if it's to your house or to your home, you would say karibu wageni wetu. Karibu is welcome, but wageni is just the word for visitors. Wageni is W-A-G-N-E. Wageni is for visitors. And if you're talking about our visitors, you would say wageni wetu, which is for our visitors. Wageni is for, it means visitors. But if you're talking about our visitors, then that becomes wageni wetu. And then we do have the days of the week and even times. So for example, if you're talking about today in Swahili, it is spelled the way you would spell Leo, but we do say Leo. For example, if you to meet up with someone today, we do say tutapatana leo. So Leo is for today. And if someone mentions leo, then you get to understand that means today. If you're talking about tomorrow, we simply do say kesho, kesho for tomorrow, kesho for tomorrow. So therefore, if someone is saying we shall meet tomorrow, they would say tu tapatana kesho. The two represents or points to us. It points to we. It points to we. So for we, the syllable for that is tu. So for example, if someone says we are eating food, then that would be tu nakula chakula. Tu nakula chakula. Tu is for we. But if I'm talking about I, self, the first person singular, then I would say ni. Ni, that is for I. Ni nakula chakula. Ni nakula chakula. I think we have made some observations in our previous classes that the syllable ni has three uses. One use is to be used to mean is. For example, chakula ni kitamu, or chakula hiki ni kitamu. Then if you do say ni kitamu, it means is sweet. Ni, in that particular context, it is used to mean is. The ni, the syllable ni, it means is. Chakula ni kitamu. That is how you would say chakula changu ni kitamu. So my food is sweet. If you're a chef or just a cook and you're very good at what you do, you might say chakula changu ni kitamu. Chakula changu ni kitamu, which is my food is sweet. But if you're talking about our food, you would say chakula chetu. Chakula chetu, because the two points to we. The two points to we. If someone says tunaenda shule is we are going to school. Tunaenda shule. But if I was going to school and I'm talking about I alone, I would say ni naenda shule. So the plural form of that is tu naenda shule. The singular is I am going to school as an individual. Ni naenda shule. But if you're talking about a group of people and we are many, then we would say tu naenda shule. Tu naenda shule. And it's not even difficult. Remember, if you do have a question at any particular juncture, you can ask, and I will be more than glad to respond to you and maybe answer your question regarding anything that you have learned in our previous classes, or regarding anything that we get to mention, even as in context, or even a little bit out of context. But Swahili is a beautiful language. Every year there is a special day set apart for the International Day of Swahili. And it is very, very important that we also continue the same. When I did see that song by Yemi Alade, I was actually impressed because Yemi Alade is from Nigeria. She is from West Africa. But she also decided to do a rendition of a song in Swahili, so that she can also reach some of her fans while in East Africa. But I think I would hope that more people in West Africa get to embrace Swahili. Even in Nigeria, if we did see more people speaking in Swahili in Nigeria, then we would actually be talking about getting somewhere, simply because the language so far, it has about over 150 million speakers. But if we go to a level where we can have at least 1 billion, 1 billion people speaking Swahili in the world, then I think we would actually be getting somewhere. And that is the goal and the dream. And someone might ask, why have you chosen Swahili? There are so many other languages on the continent. Yes, there are. There are so many other languages on the continent. And I would just say that I do believe that with time, people will see the relevance and the importance and get to embrace this beautiful language. When the President Magufuli was still alive, he was the president of Tanzania, but he passed on a couple of years ago. He was strongly advocating for the introduction of Swahili as the language of the official language for the SADC, which is the Southern Africa Development Corporation, so that even through their meetings or during their meetings, we're talking about countries such as Tanzania, the Southern African nations such as Mozambique, we're talking about Zambia. He was hoping that when they want to do their meetings, they would actually converse in Swahili, which would actually be a good thing, because we would see more people and more leaders of those particular countries also agitating for the adoption of Swahili, even in their curriculums. So that when you're talking about a school curriculum in South Africa, what is taught, we would have Swahili as part of the curriculum in that particular nation. When you go to Tanzania, Swahili is the official language. It is also the national language. And therefore, if you're conducting business, you're free to conduct your business in Swahili. If you're addressing official matters, you can be able to address these official matters with the Swahili language. And that is a thing that did help many people come together in Swahili. I think that was under the excellent leadership of Julius Nyerere, who was the founding father of the nation and the father of Tanzania. Back then it was Tanganyika and Zanzibar, and then they decided to have one country where with the name Tanzania, as opposed to having Tanganyika, because Tanganyika actually just represented the other part, which is not part of Zanzibar. But yes, we do have so many people interested in the language, and I would also hope that you did pick an interest in learning this language, and that you can also maybe perhaps invite your friends as well to join us on subsequent or on future classes, so that we can get to learn together. I did say if you want a copy of the notes, feel free to reach out, and I will be more than glad to share those particular notes with you. The goal is to help you understand Swahili grammar, the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives. Last week we were learning about the Swahili grammar, the nouns, and we said the nouns are known as majina, names. Names of places, names of people, names of things, names of ideas. All these in Swahili we call them majina, or nomino. When we talk about nouns, we do have the noun classes. The noun classes in Swahili we call them ngeli za nomino. And ngeli za nomino, we actually learned that we have 9 noun classes. We do have in their singular form and in their plural form. So the 9 noun classes doubled becomes 18, because there is a singular form and also the plural form. They become 18 in total. Apart from that, we want to be able to understand the spelling and pronunciation of words in Swahili, and also learn about the diction and intonation of Swahili words and phrases. We also want to get to understand how we change tenses in Swahili. For example, I was talking about the tense markers a little bit earlier on, and I did say we have 3 tense markers. We have the tense marker, which is li. The li, this is a tense marker for the past. This is a tense marker for the past. For example, if someone says nilisoma kitabu, ni lisoma kitabu, then that is a tense of the past. Ni, it becomes ni. Li, soma means to read. Kitabu means a book. If you have been with us in class, then you understand that every other time we have given this example of a book. Nilisoma kitabu is I read a book. I read a book. Nilisoma kitabu is I read a book. But if you're talking about the future, it is I will read a book. I will read a book. So that becomes in the future. I will read a book. The tense marker for the future is ta. T-A. T-A. And therefore, you would say ni tasoma kitabu. Ni tasoma kitabu. Therefore, that becomes ni ta. Ta is a tense marker. Nitasoma. Soma is the root for reading. Nitasoma kitabu, then that becomes I will read a book. I will read a book. I will read a book. So you have to realize, if you're talking about the past, use a tense marker li. If you're talking about the past, you use a tense marker li. And therefore, if you read a book, you would say ni lisoma kitabu, because the ni as a syllable, it points to self. And therefore is I read a book. Nilisoma kitabu. So the li that I've put in an example here, it is a tense marker for the past. But if you're talking about the future, you would say ni ta soma. So it becomes ni ta soma. So the ta is a tense marker for the future. So ni, it doesn't change, pointing to I. The ni is a syllable that points to I, means I, ni, ta, soma. The ta is a tense marker, and you use it as a prefix for the root verb. So it becomes ta, soma. Ni, ta, soma. That means I will read a book in the future. But we also do have the present continuous. For example, if you're reading a book right now, you would say ni, pointing to I. Na is a tense marker for the present. for the present. So therefore you say ni nasoma kitabu, and that would be ni. The tense marker is na for the present continuous. Ninasoma kitabu, kitabu, kitabu. Then that would be I am reading, the present continuous, reading a book. I'm reading a book. Ninasoma kitabu. Ni nasoma kitabu is I am reading a book. And it's not difficult. It is not contradictory. We do have the three of them: the present, the future, and the past. So for the past, we use the tense marker li. You say ni points to self. Li is the tense marker. It is used as a prefix for the root verb, and the root verb is soma. Soma means to read. Soma simply means to read. It means to read. Soma simply means to read. So therefore, if someone says nilisoma kitabu, it means I read a book. If someone says ni nasoma kitabu, it means I am reading a book. If someone says ni tasoma kitabu in the future, it means I will read a book. I will read a book. So Swahili becomes very, very easy in that regard. And when you talk about changing tenses, you just have to realize that the tense markers have to be used as a prefix for the root verb. For example, if it's eating, to eat, we do say kula, K-U-L-A. K-U-L-A means to eat. K-U-L-A is a word for eat. So it's a word for eat. So if you're talking about, for example, I ate food, maybe you're talking about the morning hours, you had a meal in the morning hours, you would say ni, pointing to self, ni, then put the tense marker for the past as a prefix for the root verb. Then you say ni, let me just put it down, ni, the root verb, the tense marker is li, and then kula is the root verb for, eating. Nilikula chakula. Chakula means food, so that would be I ate food. I ate food. But if you're eating food right now, if you're eating food and someone happens to, come over, they don't know what you're doing, you're in the house or you're in a room, they don't know what you're doing, and they ask, "Ze unafanya nini?" Fanya means to do. F-A, fanya means to do. Fanya, it means to do. So if someone says, "Ze unafanya nini?" What are you doing? Unafanya nini? Nini is for question. Nini is for, it means what? What are you doing? If someone says unafanya nini, it's for question. But now when you come to this matter of, saying you ate food, then it would be nilikula chakula for I ate food. Nilikula chakula for I ate food. But if you're doing it right now, you would say ni, pointing to self, and then na, which is a tense marker used as a prefix for the root verb. The root verb is kula, so you would say ni nakula, which is what I'm doing. Ni, tense marker is na, and then the root verb is kula. So therefore, it would be ni nakula chakula is I am eating food. I am eating food. I am eating some food. And in case you just want to be more specific and you want to describe your food, the food that you're having, the food that you're eating, it's very sumptuous, it's very sweet, then you would say ni nakula chakula kitamu. Ni nakula chakula kitamu. Then that would be I am eating some delicious food, or I'm eating some very sumptuous food. It's not difficult. The more you practice, the more it becomes easier for you to remember. So the more you practice, the easier it becomes for you to remember. So ninakula is I am eating. That is for ninakula chakula. Ninakula chakula is for I am eating some food. If you do have a question, please ask. Kama uko na swali, tafadhali uliza. It's always a delight to answer the questions. If you do have a question, shoot, ask, and I would be more than glad to respond to you and answer you. I would be more than glad to respond to you and answer to your question. Remember, you can always write to us in case you want to reach out. You can write to us, blackhotfireafrica@gmail.com, and I will be more than glad to respond. You can also connect with us on our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on Twitter X, we are on the official network website. which is www.blackwaterfirenetwork.com. Once you are on the network, please feel free to sign up. Once you are on the network, just feel free to sign up. It will be important for you to sign up on the network, because once you sign up on the network, clip that. Once you sign up on the network, you can be able to connect with like-minded individuals. You can be able to learn together. You can be able to connect. You can be able to build, because it starts as a conversation, then you connect with people, and you are able now to move forward and build together. The idea is the unification of our people, and also to inspire collective African consciousness, so that our people can actually, be awakened, and we can be able to unify and act together as a people globally. It doesn't matter whether you are in Dakar, Senegal, or whether you are in Chicago, or whether you are in Texas, or whether you are in Canada, wherever you might be at, or even in Brazil, South America, or even in the UK. The goal is to unify our melanated people and inspire collective African consciousness and action. Because if you act collectively, then it means that you have more power, because we understand that united we stand, divided we fall, and fallen we all conquered. So it means that if you want to rise up, then you can only rise up by having that particular call to action, and also be inspired to have that African awakening and renaissance. If you haven't visited the official network website, please make sure you do. It's www.blackwaterfirenetwork.com. Once you are on there, please make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. It is very, very important that you subscribe and that you turn on notifications, so that you are able to get the alerts when we are going live, or what is happening, so that you can be able to catch that and find out what's going on. And therefore, I was just saying that it is very, very important that we are able to get together on the network, and also check out some of the other shows that are presented on the network. We do have the Pan African Bliss show with Jody. We do have the Africa Today show with Kevin Zobe. We do have the show by Shmani, the one show with Kamlesh, and a couple of other shows on the network as well. So it is very, very important that you get to check those out, and that you are able to also connect with the family on there. The shows are many, and the topics discussed are so many as well. And all these particular shows, the goal is to also not just to entertain, but also to empower you with information, uh, to also empower you with information. And therefore, when you are on the network, there's a whole lot of resources that you can get. And for Swahili classes, we do have a whole lot of archives that you can check out actually on this particular channel, or also on other channels. You can head over to Black Hot Fire Africa YouTube channel, and you can find an archive of those other classes. What you just need to do is just search on YouTube, write Swahili classes for the weekend, and you will be able to find them. For example, Saturday Swahili class or Sunday Swahili class, because that is when you do have the classes. You will be able to catch up with those and find out, and learn at your own pace. Sometimes you do understand that not everyone is able to join the live as it happens, and therefore they can only join, or they can only watch the live later, and there is no problem with that. That is actually still fine, because you are able to learn at your own pace. But pick this interest to learn the language. It is very, very important. Maybe perhaps you have a dream of actually touring any of these East African and Southern African countries. If you go to Tanzania, you'll find, like I did say, Swahili speakers. Kenya, Uganda, even parts of Zambia, you will find Swahili speakers. If you go to the DRC, you will find Swahili speakers. If you go to Rwanda, and also the Burundi, you will also find the Swahili speakers right there as well. Because For example, I've interacted with many people from Burundi. There have been so many of them that have come to Kenya to visit and also for work. And you can be able to communicate very, very easily with people from Burundi simply through Swahili. And also the same for the DRC Congo. They are able to also communicate very, very well in the Swahili language. So therefore, you are at an advantage in case you want to either visit, either reconnect, or either set up business or set up shop in any of these regions that I've mentioned. And we do hope that even gradually, even in places such as South Africa, we might have people interested in learning the language and make it more prolific in the Southern African region as well, in countries such as Lesotho, in countries such as Swaziland, in countries such as Namibia. We also do hope the same kind of a love spreading to those particular regions so that we can have more Swahili speakers in those regions. Swahili is not difficult. If you use your palm like this, you can identify the 5 vowels in Swahili. It's A, E, O, U. Those are the 5 vowels in Swahili. And then from the vowels, we go to the consonants. The consonants in the Swahili language are all the letters of the English alphabet apart from X and Q. So for the consonants in Swahili, it's all the letters in the English alphabet apart from X and Q, and apart from those 5 vowels that I have mentioned to you. The vowel A is the English letter A. The vowel A is the English letter E. The vowel O is the English letter O. The vowel E is the English letter I. The vowel U is the English letter U. So nothing is difficult. If you're talking about putting them down here so that you can understand better, you would simply just say the vowels are as A, E, O, U. So those are the 5 vowels, and that is just the way you put them. And you can see these are the letters of the English alphabet. This is a letter A, the letter E, the letter I, the letter O, and the letter U. So they make up the 5 vowels in the Swahili language. For example, andika. In the word andika, it simply means to write, andika. The vowel A, for example, in the word eleza, eleza simply means to explain. The vowel E, for example, in the word ingia, ingia simply means to enter. The vowel O, for example, in the word ondoka, ondoka simply means to leave, leave. If someone says ondoka sasa, it means leave now. If someone says ingia, ingia sasa means just get in, come inside, ingia. The vowel U is the English letter U. The Swahili vowel U is the English letter U. So, for example, you might say ugonjwa. Ugonjwa simply means a disease. Ugonjwa, ugonjwa, it simply means a disease. So, those 5 vowels demystified, very, very easy. There are many, many examples of words that you can use to show, to expound further. For example, if someone says endelea, this is a Swahili vowel L, the second vowel, endelea, which is the English Swahili, the English letter E. But you say endelea. For example, endelea means to continue. Endelea, endelea, it means to continue. It means to continue, continue. So that is just the way it is pronounced. You pronounce it just that way, very, very easy. Endelea. If you're talking about the first one, for example, I say andika, andika. Andika is the first vowel, andika, so it becomes to write. It becomes to write, andika. If someone is writing a book or a manuscript or just rather a book, you would say andika kitabu, andika kitabu, andika kitabu, andika kitabu. If you're talking about the third vowel, which is E, you would say ingia. Ingia, ingia is to enter. It means to enter. Ingia simply means to enter. So therefore, if someone says karibu sana, ingia ndani. So karibu is just a way of welcoming you. For example, karibu, maybe someone knocked on your door and you just open your door. And you did say, hey, karibu sana habari yako. Maybe it was your brother, your younger brother, your older brother. You say habari yako kaka. Nafurahi sana kukuona, karibu, karibu sana. If someone says karibu sana means welcome, welcome. And then they say ingia ndani. Ingia is just a word with that example of the vowel, which is the vowel E, and that is the English letter I. So you say ingia, ingia ndani, ingia ndani. If you're talking about the other vowel, I did say U, the vowel U. For example, in the word ugonjwa, 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 Ugonjwa. Ugonjwa. So that means a disease. It means a disease. It means a disease. So therefore, if we're talking about ugonjwa, it means a disease. If you're talking about something like love in Swahili, we normally do say upendo. Upendo is love. Upendo, which is love. Upendo. And if someone wants to say peace and love, they would say amani na upendo. Amani na upendo. So amani is also another word having the vowel a. So that is peace. So when people say amani na upendo, which is peace and love, they have used the word amani, which has the vowel a, and they have also used the vowel u, which is on the word upendo. And the connector there is na. So for example, the na is a connector. Is this the connector? And if you say amani na upendo, it means peace and love. Peace and love. Same, just like you'd say tea and bread. Tea and bread, that would be tea, chai, na mkate. So the NA is also another very, very popular syllable, which has a meaning, and it is used across. You'll find that particular syllable used so many places. For example, anaongea na. So na also would be with. It would also be with in that regard. But the thing is, it's very simple. When you get to use these particular words, the more you practice, the more you get better. So there's no trick. That is the only trick. Practice makes perfect. Someone says amani na upendo, it simply peace and love. If someone says ujambo kaka, it simply means hello brother. If someone says ujambo dada, it simply hello sister. If someone says habari yako dada, it simply is how are you sister. Habari yako, HABA, habari yako is how are you. How are you? And there are many responses. If someone asking you how are you, there are many responses. So many responses to that. For example, if someone says habari yako, then it simply means how are you? And you can respond and say nzuri. Habari yako, nzuri. Nzuri means good. We have already overemphasized that. Nzuri means good. So if someone says habari yako, for example, if it's a brother and then they said habari yako ndugu, ndugu is for brother. And they might also say kaka. Kaka is for brother. K-A-K-A. That is for brother. It's for brother. So if someone says habari yako kaka, then that would be how are you brother. If someone says habari yako dada, then that would be how are you sister. Dada simply is for sister. Dada simply becomes, it's simply for sister. So someone might say habari yako dada, then that would be how are you sister. And you respond and say nzuri. If you want to emphasize and say it's very well, you would say nzuri sana. If you want to emphasize and say it's well, you might say nzuri sana. But you cannot just say that. You can also use a different word, which is salama. Salama means okay. If someone is asking how are you, you might say good, which is nzuri. You might say salama, S-A-L-A-M-A, salama. Salama, you write it down as S-A-L-A-M-A. Salama is well. Salama is well. So someone might approach me and say habari yako ndugu, which is how are you brother, and I would respond and say salama, which is well, I am well. If someone was to approach you and they asked you habari yako dada, habari yako simply means how are you. So therefore, if they did say habari yako dada, then you can respond and say salama, or you can say salama sana. S-A-N-A, sana is for emphasis. S-A-N-A, it means very, all, a lot. It means very, all, a lot. So if someone says salama sana means very good. Very okay. If someone says nzuri sana, it means very good. So if someone was to say hello to you, they might say habari yako, which is how are you. And when they do say habari yako, you might respond and say salama, or you might respond and say nzuri, or you might respond and say njema, njema, Njema. That would be well. That would be well. That would be well. Someone might ask habari yako. You might respond and say nzuri. You might respond and say salama. You might respond and say njema, njema. So for salama, salama means well, but salama also means safe. Salama also means safe. Salama also means safe. Also means safe because salama also means safe because if someone says lala salama, then they simply mean sleep well or sleep safe. Sleep well or sleep safe. If someone says lala salama, they simply mean sleep well or sleep safe. If someone says safiri salama, safiri means travel. Maybe you're traveling and someone wants to wish you a safe journey. They would say safiri salama, which is they are wishing you a safe journey. Safiri salama, which is a safe journey. So safiri means travel. It means travel. While safari is different. Safari means a journey. Our tour. Safari means a tour. It means a tour or a journey. So the words are close because they come from the same thing. Safari means to travel, but the journey itself it's known as safari. So if someone says safiri salama, it means travel safely. Safiri salama, safiri salama, it means travel safely, travel safely, which is safiri salama. But we were from the word salama, which is a response to how are you. You might respond and say salama. Salama means well, it means okay, it also means safe. So it has three applications. So if someone says ujambo dada, which is hello sister, habari yako, which is how are you. And you do not always have to be fine, and it's fine that way. If you're not doing fine, all okay. If someone was not well, they might say mbaya. The opposite of good, which is nzuri, is mbaya. Mbaya means not okay. Mbaya means not good. Mbaya, M-B-A-Y-A. Mbaya means not good. Mbaya means not good. So therefore, if someone is not doing good, and they were to ask habari yako, and they're not doing any good, you would respond and say mbaya. You can respond and say mbaya. So for example, they might say habari yako ndugu, and you're having a very, very bad day, the situation is not working out, you might say mbaya. And mbaya is a way of saying bad. Or if you want to negate something, you use the syllable C. Use the syllable C. The syllable C is used for negating. It is used to negate. That is the syllable C. It is used to negate. For example, so therefore you would say si salama. If someone says si salama, it means not well. If someone says si nzuri, or si nzuri, then it becomes not good. Sio nzuri becomes not good. Sio nzuri, it becomes not good. So you might have situations where things are not actually working out, and you're just trying to explain that you are not doing any good. So therefore you say si salama, which is not safe, not well, not okay, or sio nzuri. Sio nzuri is just understood to be not good. So therefore you are negating that particular phrase and saying it's not good. So that is just the way you explain. But apart from that, you have already said hello to people. You have already responded to their greetings. You can go ahead and say now what you want. You can go ahead to make your request. And the way you would make your request is to be very, very courteous and say, ningetaka, which is I would like, I would like. Or you might say ningependa. Ningependa is I would love, I would love, I would love for this and that. I would love for this and that. So taka means want. Taka means want. It means want. So therefore, if someone was to ask you, je, unataka nini? Unataka nini? Taka is what do you want? Unataka nini? Unataka nini? That is just a question for what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Taka is T-A-K-A, that is T-A-K-A for want. So you might say, now pointing yourself, ni, na is a present continuous. Ni nataka maji ya kunywa. That is, I want some drinking water, some water to drink. I want some water to drink. Ninataka maji ya kunywa is I want some water to drink. So you point yourself, say ni, or just you're pointing whether the ni is pointing yourself, but ni nataka maji ya kunywa, that would be I want some water to drink. Or if you're very hungry, you would say ni nataka. Ni once again points to self. The na is a tense marker for the present continuous, and then the taka is a root verb for want. So therefore, ni nataka is I would like, or I want. I want sounds rude and direct, but if you say ninataka maji, or ninataka chakula, then that would be I want some food. Ninataka chakula. The other time we were in class, we say that there is an adjective which represents the quantity. The quantity, for example, if you wanted just a little bit amount of water, you would say, ni nataka maji kidogo. Maji is water, but when you say kidogo, K-I-D-O-G-O, is for a little, it means a little. So if someone says nataka maji kidogo, maji is water, M-A-J-I, maji. So if someone says maji kidogo is just a little water, a little water. So therefore, they want something. You have already introduced yourself, and then now you want to say what you want. Hujambo, then they would respond and say sijambo, and then you would go ahead and say jina langu ni Spikes, which is my name is Spikes, and then you would respond and say ningetaka, which is I would like. So that would be ni ningetaka is for I would like. Or I want. I want sounds very patronizing, but you can still say I want. I want is ni nataka. Ninataka is I want. So that is some of the ways in which you can actually put your point across. Introduce yourself and put your point across that you want something. For example, if you wanted to buy, you are at a store and you wanted to buy something, you would say ninataka kununua, which is ninataka kununua. Kununua means to buy. Kununua kitabu. For example, you are at a store, so that would be I want to buy a book. I want to buy a book. So therefore, you would say ninataka. Ninataka is I want. Ninataka kununua. Nunua is a root verb. Nunua means buy, but you use ku, the syllable ku, as a prefix for the root verb just to show the verb in action. So you say ninataka kununua kitabu. Kitabu is a book. Kalamu is a pen. If you to lift a pen like this, you had a pen, you would actually say kalamu. So you might say ninataka kununua kalamu. That is simply how you say it, and it wouldn't be any difficult so long as you practiced. Then I think with time you will become more better at it. You just need to be able to practice, and practice makes perfect. Not difficult. You just need time to practice. And there are many resources on the internet these days. There's a Duolingo app. You can download the Duolingo app. You can watch the archives of our previous classes. We have so many classes. And in case you want to shoot us an email, you can write to us, blackfireafrica@gmail.com. And like I did say, the goal of this particular platform is to actually bring our people together, inspire African unity. And apart from that, also inspire collective African consciousness so that our people can reawaken and see the need to move and work together collaboratively for future posterity. That is just the idea for future posterity. So for today, we shall be winding up at that particular point. But if you do have a question, please feel free to ask, and we will be more than happy to respond to any question. But for now, however, we shall be winding up at that particular point. If you do have a question, tafadhali uliza. Unaweza uliza swali. Uliza swali simply means ask a question. Uliza swali, it means ask a question. Swali, it means ask a question. Uliza swali, it means ask a question. Ask a question. If you do have a question, please ask, and I will be more than glad to respond to you in regards to any question. It would be a delight to answer any question. In case you do have a question, tafadhali uliza swali. Tafadhali uliza swali. You can ask a question, and I will be more than delighted to answer a question. The last time we were learning even parts of the body, we did say that your head is known as kichwa, your eyes, it's called jicho, if it's one. If it's both of them, we say macho. If it's for your nose, you would say pua, P-U-A. If it's for your mouth, we do say mdomo, or you can also say kinywa. If it's for your tongue, we would say ulimi. And if it's for your beard, if you had a scruffy old beard like mine, you would say ndevu. If you're talking about the shoulders, you would say mbega for the shoulders. If it's for the hands, you would say mikono. And other parts of the body, you say legs for your migu for your legs. For your tummy, your stomach, you would say tumbo. For your back, you would say mgongo. For your seat buttocks, you would say makalio or taco. For your heart, you would say roho. So for example, if someone says roho yangu, it means my heart, roho yangu. For the romantic people, you say naumiza roho yangu, it means that you're hurting my heart. But nonetheless, if you have a question, please ask. If not, please head over to the official network website. It's www.blackfireafrica.com. And once you are on there, please subscribe. Please sign up, and also click on the turn on notifications so that you can get notified when you do have shows or classes. Tomorrow we shall pick up same place, same time, right here on the Black Fire Network, YouTube, and also on BitChute as well. You can also follow the Black Fire Network on Rumble. And once you do, you will be able to you'll be able to join us tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on the Black Fire Network, YouTube, Rumble, and BitChute. And I do believe you can also find some classes on Spreaker. If you head over to Spreaker.com, search for Swahili classes on Spreaker.com, you will be able to find those on the Black Fire Network Spreaker page as well. So much peace and love. Till next time, I want to wish you a happy and a productive rest of the weekend. Whatever you might be doing, might be traveling, you might be with family, you might be just, easing up and resting. Whatever you might be doing this particular weekend, I want to wish you a happy and a productive rest of the weekend. Make sure to join us tomorrow, same place, same time. My name is Pite. Love you so much. Take care of yourselves. Make sure to join us for class tomorrow. For now, I want to say peace out, all kwaheri. In Swahili, it's kwaheri for goodbye. And I would say kwaheri ya kuonana, which is goodbye, see you again. Asante sana kwa kuwa nasi kwenye darasa letu la leo. Thank you so much for being with us in today's class. Till next time, peace and love. Take care of yourselves.